Hi, my name is Ovi, and in this video I'm going to show you how to make growls like these. Okay guys, in order to make a growl, we are going to start first with vital session with an initial preset, and to make a growl we are going to need to introduce pheromone shifts. There's a couple of ways to do this. The first way, we are going to use an effect called harmonic stretch, and we are going to automate its amount. And you can hear that we are getting some kind of pseudo growl. So we are going to stack multiple effects on top of each other, and in order to do this we are going to resynthesize the wavetable. But we need to make some preparations first. First of all, turn off the phase randomization. This is going to mean that each time we resynthesize, the result is going to be the same. If you would randomize the phase, you can see that the resynthesized result is different each time, which is bad, because in some design we usually want consistency. The next change is that we are going to make is set the attack to 0 and also the smoothing of the automation to 0. In this case it doesn't really matter that much because we are not going to create a looping point with the wavetable where the starting point and ending point is the same, but it does introduce slight distortion or whatever you want to call it at the end of the wavetable window. At the beginning of and end of the wavetable window. So the final preparation we need to make is to set the time of the automation to 4 seconds, and this is because the time of the resynthesizing window is 4 seconds in vital. It's fixed, you cannot change it. So right now we can resynthesize, and let's hear the result. The harmonic effect is still in there, but now it's part of the wavetable, so we need to automate the wavetable position. And you can see the same effect is in there. So next, we are going to introduce some frequency modulation from the first oscillator. Turn the level of oscillator 1 to 0, because we don't want to hear the oscillator 1 itself. It still sounds kind of growly, but it needs to sound better. So we are also going to automate the frequency modulation. Now you can hear it's getting even more growly, but we can improve this even further by reducing the wavetable position of oscillator 2. And also reducing the frequency modulation, because it gets way too noisy at the end. Yeah, and I forgot, remove the first automation of the harmonic stretch on the oscillator 1. This was just for the resynthesization. We don't need it anymore. Also turn off the phase randomization on oscillator 2 as well. Now play around a little bit to get the kind of sound that you want. There is some distortion. And also, very important step, change the shape of the automation to be something that resembles a growl. Okay, I'm pretty satisfied with this result. And on top of this we are going to add effects. We are going to use filter to add low pass on the beginning and end of the sound. Alright, next we can add phaser to introduce more pheromone shifts, because if you set the frequency of the phaser to basically 0, you get a filter that has a good shape to create formats. We can automate, for example, the sensor. You can also automate in reverse. I think birds is slightly better in this case. Okay, this sounds pretty good. Don't mess with the offset on this, because or mess with it when you're done with everything else, because it creates some stereo, and right now I want to avoid that. Okay, the next effect that you could use would be a compressor. The next effect we can add is flanger. We are going to use flanger basically in the same way as phaser. Freeze it, reduce offset to 0. Slightly reduce the mix because it gets way too screechy. And automate the... Alright, that's the flanger. Now some EQ. I'm going to emphasize the lower bass a little bit. And then I'm going to... And so some reverb on top. However, make sure to not put reverb on the sub bass. That would be terrible. Just on the highs. To me, this already sounds like a good enough growl. But you can always try to make it better and experiment, so that's what I'm going to do now. Because we have these two filters that we haven't really utilized yet. You get some interesting effects with this, but I'm not sure if I'm making the growl better, or if I'm making an entirely new kind of sound. Alright, yeah, one kind of important thing that I forgot about is you can automate the transpose as well, which is also going to make it sound more growly, I would say. However, for this, reverse the automation, because in the middle you want to be for the growl to be at its fundamental note, not somewhere in the highs. Actually, there's a better way to do this. Just copy this LFO and paste it, and then flip vertical. Automate the transpose. For it to be sound like a growl, the automation needs to begin. The pitch needs to start low and get to high, and then to low again. Not start on high, go to low, and to high again. That would sound not like a growl, but like something different. Okay, that's perfect. I removed the format filter because I think it was too much, but there is definitely a way to make it work as well. But that's not for today's video. Alright, so we have our first growl. And so now we can save the preset. Perfect. And now we can try to make variations in order to be able to compose a drop makeup or a simple drop. You can experiment with everything. So I think I'm not going to explain, because all I'm going to do is just experiment. There's really no method to it, and you can follow along if you'd like. Alright, I think I have a second preset that I like. Alright, I think I have found third sound that I like. Okay, and I think I found a fourth one that I like. Okay, I think I like this one as well. And I also like this sound. It's going to be a sixth one. Alright, I think we are done with it. No, it's just a matter of time to merge it into kind of group. I want to show guys that it's actually the possibility to use these sounds to be made in a good way. Okay, we have the late, I guess. Alright, now I guess let's figure out how to use the other sounds. Alright guys, that's it for today's video, and make sure to subscribe to get the notification for the next one. And also, if you'd like some of the presets that I made during this video, then leave me a comment and I'm going to put up a link for you. Alright, that's it, have a nice day.